Hello, I'm Dr. Jeanette Raymond, psychologist, psychotherapist, and relationship expert, here with the third in my series related to the book, From Feeling Unwanted to Wanting to Feel, The Burden of Being Perfect. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about not wanting to feel. You know, we've all been in a situation where we don't want to feel sad. We don't want to feel scared. We don't want to deal with anxiety. We just don't want those feelings. And sometimes we can pretend they're not there, or we can deny them, or we can distract ourselves. But it's a difficult situation. We can't control it, and it makes us very uneasy. We're out of sorts. Where does all this come from? And why do we not want to feel? What's so bad about it? So imagine the baby now who's feeling very uncomfortable. They're feeling bloated. You know, they're not digesting mommy's milk, and they're bloated. They're uncomfortable. They're, moving around, wriggling, frowning, crying, drooling. And mom's trying to find out what's going on, but not in a way where they're really in tune with the baby. So baby's feelings become so big that they become overwhelming, and then baby doesn't want to feel them anymore. Same thing with another experience of feeling scared, at night when it's time to go to sleep. What if mom just says go to bed and leaves you there and puts the light off and you're scared? Those scary feelings are not going to go away. They're going to get bigger. They're going to get more scary. They're going to feel so terrible that you think you're going to jump out of your skin. So what does the little child do in those instances? They stop feeling it. They go somewhere else in their head because it's too much. It becomes overwhelming, and they go somewhere else. They kind of dissociate from their feelings because they're too much. But if mom was in tune with baby feeling bloated or toddler feeling scared, mom would say, oh, I can feel your tummy. It's very big, it's bloated. Maybe you have gas. Maybe you have wind. Maybe you need mommy to rub your tummy so that you'll be able to loosen the gas and have a bowel movement, trying to talk to the baby about what it's all about, empathizing, and feeling the baby's feelings and putting it into words is digesting the emotions. It's kind of breaking them down into manageable pieces so that baby isn't overwhelmed and that their emotional system isn't unable to cope because it's been overwhelmed and everything has broken down. It can no longer function. So the job of mommy or daddy or whoever's taking care of baby, whoever's taking care of the toddler, who's feeling scared being on the room all by themselves in the dark, no one sitting with them, no one holding their hand, no one singing a lullaby, no one reading a story, no one saying, yeah, it is scary going to bed because you don't know if mommy and daddy are going to be here in the morning when you get up. You think you're going to be all alone, or maybe you won't even wake up. Or maybe mommy and daddy don't want you anymore and they've gone to run. These are all normal feelings a child will have going to bed at night in the dark if you don't sit with them and talk to them and stay with them until they feel safe enough to surrender to sleep. Those feelings then of anxiety, of terror, of being alone, of being abandoned, of being rejected, they become totally unmanageable, completely over the top. They leak all over the place, and that little toddler has to then take his mind and put himself in another place, saying, I can't feel these things, they're too much, so it's better not to feel. And they develop this kind of false way of managing by not feeling it at all. So what do they do with all the feelings if they don't feel them? Well, they put them in their bodies. They have aches and pains, lumps, eczema, acne, bowel disorders, or swallowing problems, but mostly sleep issues. They can't sleep. They have disrupted sleep. They are cranky. They're very irritable. They're on edge. Their attention is poor. They always trying to find something to hold on to kind of calm themselves down. And that's because mom and dad are not talking to baby and easing the messy feelings, making what's unwieldy wieldy again, right? So it's kind of taking the temperature down, dousing the fire, seeing we're okay, we're surviving. You and me, we're still here. I'm here with you. Nothing bad has happened. All those things that you think is normal, but it isn't normal for a lot of parents. They may not have had them themselves, and when they don't do it for their kids, we end up with messy feelings, and then children don't want to feel because it's too much. They cannot. It's overload. It will literally give them a kind of psychotic break, if you want to call it that, because they can't cope. And that's what a psychotic break is, when you can't cope. So you have to put the feeling somewhere else, and it's usually in the body, or else it's completely no, never happened to me. They kind of forget that it ever happened. And a lot of people I meet in my work will say, you know what, I never felt any pain growing up. No, the first time I felt it was yesterday when I had a headache. They don't remember. They put it out of their minds. And then it comes back to haunt them as grown-ups. They begin to feel it all again. It's as if they've put it in some lockbox, and then as they grow up and they're feeling safer, they're making a relationship with a therapist or a person that's stable in their lives, then all that stuff comes back to haunt them. All of a sudden they have all the headaches, the backaches, the constipation, the sleeplessness, the asthma, the swallowing problems, the tummy aches, the eczema, and all those things come back to haunt them, because now they get to feel it. They can't hold it in reserve anymore. Now they can feel it because they have someone, such as a therapist or a stable person, who can help them digest, put words to them, know what they're all about, recognize them, and learn that, you know what, the feelings are very big. They are unmanageable. If you don't understand where they're coming from, what they're about, and how to communicate them. So in the work that I do, I teach people, like I showed Ian in my book, From Feeling Unwanted to Wanting to Feel, the Burden of Being Perfect, how his anger came out in ways that were shameful and embarrassing, that affected his relationship, how his fear of loss, how his terror of being unwanted, of not being good enough, came out in his constipation, his diarrhea, his irritable bowel syndrome, his bowel disease, his lesions all over his body, his erectile dysfunction, and the pain that he suffered the whole time in his heart was in his body. And when he felt that I was holding him and not just comforting him, but doing all the things that he missed out on as a child in terms of being attuned to, just being there, that helped him manage his own emotions and learn. And then he would tell me, years into our work, he'd say, you know what, I had a whole bunch of allergies today, but I think I know why. And he would cure himself. That was the amazing thing, and you could read all about it in my book, From Feeling Unwanted to Wanting to Feel, the Burden of Being Perfect. I'll see you next time.